Hello out there. Heavy Monte here. Welcome to the Heavy Montes podcast and my comedy show. Now, somebody told me that Donald Trump is saying that he wants to release the Jeffrey Epstein files, America. Said he wants to let them out so that people can see them. Now, somebody might have been lying to Donald Trump because they say he crazy as hell and told him, because he forgets shit, he got dementia. They can tell him, look here, man, you're not in the files. Don't worry about nothing. If anybody asks you anything, you tell them. That's what Russell Bolton, the guys in Project 2025, the leaders and architect of that filthy document, is telling us. So Donald Trump is out there telling everybody that he, is not in the Epstein files. He's going to release the Epstein files, but he's not really going to release the Epstein files because he said he's going to turn it over to the Attorney General, Pam Bondi. You understand? So America, I don't think Donald Trump can let those Epstein files out because what they're saying, America, is that those files are bad. They say they got Donald Trump doing all kinds of things. Now they say that he's giving a man a blowjob, America. They say he's giving a man a blowjob. And I can believe it because he simulated giving a microphone a blowjob. It's out there. And nobody says shit. You know what I'm saying? Imagine Joe Biden walks up to a microphone and simulate that he's giving the microphone a blowjob. You understand? Man, the corporate press will go crazy. Fox News will have that thing on playback all the time. Rewind, America. But Donald Trump can get away with all this stuff, they say. I don't understand it. Now, people are saying that he's a pedophile, and I don't think it's fair for people to say he's a pedophile without, having, concrete evidence. But Heavy Monte, I'm not fair. I think he is a pedophile. You see what I'm saying? By the evidence. I don't know that for sure. But, but if I was a betting man and I had to bet money, I would bet that Donald Trump is a freaking pedophile. Best friend, is a sex trafficker. His best friend said that Donald Trump had no scruples. And they say there's a photograph going around of Donald Trump giving a man a blowjob. They also said that blowjob picture, is in the hands of Vladimir Putin, they say. They said Vladimir Putin has it. And that's how he's a blowjobbing male. He's blowjobbing male Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're saying. Putin told him, I'm telling you, you better do what I tell you. I'm going to release this stuff. Donald Trump, he's so damn afraid because he's a taco. He don't want to. Now, I wonder if Melania, his wife know what's going on. You see what I'm trying to tell you. I don't know, America. Some weird shit going on. Little Republicans are weirdos, But I really, really, really think that we have a pedophile in the White House, America. And he said that he's going to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell, he said, the female sex trafficker. Out of America. I want to ask you a question now. Now, you see the people that Donald Trump is pardoning, some hardened criminals, rapists, crooks, and thieves. You understand? But he is not pardoning any of his voters, who in jail right now for petty crimes. He pardoned the January 6 people, things like that, But people who really support him, he don't support them. He can give a damn about them. You see what I'm trying to tell you, America? So that's what I say. This is the clear and precise message tonight. They say that Donald Trump gave a man a blowjob. And there are pictures out there to show it, America. You see what I'm trying to say? Now, Donald Trump is praying for two things to happen here concerning the Jeffrey Epstein files. He's praying that the story that he has that, you cannot, release the files because they're criminal investigations only of Democrats. America, you Republicans out there, imagine, see a Democratic president The Republican Party don't care about a Democratic president because they know a Democratic president doesn't do any harm. They just like playing the drama and the game and the white supremacy on the other side. You see what I'm trying to say? You know? But now it came to bite them in the ass. They lost the snap. Now they have somebody who they say is a pedophile, a pervert, somebody who's selling them shit, selling them Bibles, somebody who is an embarrassment. Donald Trump is an embarrassment. I wouldn't invite him over to my house for dinner. You know how I feel about that. You wouldn't leave your children, your 12-year-old girls with him, and go and say, look, watch him when I come back. Till I come back someplace, get him out of there. He's not to be trusted. Just like the Republican Party is not to be trusted because they are low down, dirty dogs. That's what Heavy Monte said. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason I said it, that they are low down, dirty dogs. Now, Donald Trump, has no intentions of releasing the Epstein files. And if he released the Epstein files, he thinks that his voters are so stupid. And those podcasters, they got money to lose. You see what I'm trying to tell you? They have no job without the Epstein files, because they've been pushing that shit and saying it was the Democratic Party. And they're saying that the Democratic Party, we were the elites. But I tell you one damn thing, they're damn liars. Because who was sitting on the front row at Donald Trump's inauguration? The frickin' billionaires. Who got all the money? Our tax dollars. The billionaires. Now I'm going to say one thing before I leave here, America. For all you ignorant red state voters, why is it okay for the federal government to make billionaires out of Elon Musk? And give them all these contracts. And give all these contracts to all of their cronies and their buddies. You understand? But they won't give you health care. They won't feed you. Let you starve in the greatest country in the world. Divide you by race, by color, Tell you you're white. Tell you that stuff. And you're falling for that stuff. You know what I'm saying? When people came from all over the world, from Germany, France, all over this country. A lot of the Americans didn't have a damn thing to do with slavery shit. We want the shit to die. We want racism to die. And we want our country back from the hands of the enemy. And the enemy is Donald Trump, backed up by a criminal Republican Party in the House and the Senate, and backed up by 6 maggots on the Supreme Court. This is Heavy Monte for the Heavy Monte Podcast and the Heavy Monte Comedy Show, saying never, ever vote for a Republican. And please subscribe to the Heavy Monte's YouTube channel.